Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Monday Night Live Stream here at Joe Daddy's Garage. This is my usual Sunday night or Monday night live stream at 7 p.m. And we do this once a week on Mondays, right? Sorry, my mind's a little distracted at the very moment. But Monday nights at 7, we do these live streams. And Thursday afternoon at 3 p.m., I also do a live stream. And that is for people around the world. I try to find a good time for people to be able to make it here. And so Monday night, glad you're here. And tonight, again, we talk about classic cars, mainly Mustangs, Camaros, Pontiacs, whatever. But we try to keep it focused on classic cars. And there may be some other topics that we get into as we move forward through the night. So first one here, Chris Greenaway in Canada. Greg's Workshop in Australia. Rick Stevenson, I believe, I want to say Florida. Derek Pro, also from Australia. Let's see. Morning, Barry. Everyone, hope all is well. Love the front balance. Great job. Come out great. Another Joe Daddy's Garage specialized part range available now. Yeah. Big Red 6'7". Thumbs up from Arizona. Don Thompson. Good afternoon from not Dave, Portland, Oregon. We'll have to see who the first Dave is tonight. Jeff, hi, Barry and everyone. Make sure we get some thumbs up going for the stream. Yes, definitely. Definitely. Phil, M.I.M. So, have we had a Dave sighting yet? Not yet. We're going to find out shortly. Grease Rookie, Andrew, what's up? Glad you're here. Crash Rider from Southern Indiana. Glad you're here. Robert, the Infernal Craftsman, evening all. Robert's getting ready to make a road trip, and he'll be traveling to Charlotte, I believe, right? So that'll be an interesting one for him. Darren Powell, morning, everyone from South Australia. So that's 3 from Australia. That's pretty good. 64.5 Stang, Shane from Pittsburgh, checking in. Hey, Barry, and all classic car people. Glad you're here. 428 Power, good evening. All hit the like button, definitely. Caden, checking in. Glad you're here. Chris, my last stream before my new job. Yeah. I'm glad you're here, though. Dave Conville, first Dave checking in. You get a bell for being the first Dave. Caden, thumbs up from -5 Kansas. Ooh, no thank you. No thank you. Not interested in that kind of temperature. Rick, hi, Barry, still under so much snow in New Jersey. Yeah. We have Dan. Hey, Dan, checking in from Afghanistan. Glad you're here, my friend. Dave Moore, I'm number 1. Nope, you're number 2. You're Dave number 2. Dave Conville beat you to it. Caden and Daniel Shader is asking if he's deployed. He's doing some things in Afghanistan. That much I know. Harvey from Rally Cat Garage. I'm glad you're here. Bob Knoll. Good evening, Barry. How are you tonight? I think I'm okay. Trying to get some little things done as I move forward, and working on editing some videos. So that'll be coming out soon. Well, by the end of the week. My focus, as I mentioned before, I don't plan to do what I was doing, where I was pumping out 2 videos a week. There will be one coming out on Friday for sure. Maybe something else in between, but I'm going to focus on getting out videos on Friday. So, Jerry checking in from Middle Tennessee, I believe. And he says he's good. Nandu, hi, Barry and everybody. Jerry is saying good. Things must be good for Jerry. Darn you, Dave Conville. Cooter Lev. Do I get a bell for first Cooter? I'll give you a bell for that. There he is. Jerry got it now. Good evening from Middle Tennessee. Caden, fun fact, this Saturday the weather ripped skin off my... What? The weather ripped skin off my fingers. Ouch times. Okay. That doesn't sound like a fun fact at all, but Dave and Cheryl, that's Dave number 3. Hello, all from bitterly 8 degrees. I'm guessing bitter 8 degrees in Keatsville, Missouri. 8 degrees. Ooh. Mercury Man Garage. Good evening, all. Just so you all know who this is, Len Ekema. Changed my ID. Okay. I'm glad you're here, Len. Chris, lot of the maybe later down the road for the Firebird is, well, now let's order it. Okay. Okay, just Cheryl tonight. So scratch one day from the list. Rick, 66 in Jacksonville, Florida. Yeah. Clark, got me a super sticker. Thank you, man. Appreciate that very much. Whoops. Rick, or Caden, sorry. I missed the 60s, Rick. Sounds nice. Yes, it does. And while we warmed up to 15 in Detroit, I guess is what he's saying there. And oops, where we go? We're bouncing more in here. Dave Convo, it's been my evil plan for weeks to be the first Dave and get a bell. Well, you made it. Steve, Footage Factory, glad you're here. Marshall, not a Dave here, but hello all. Got a guy building me a 347. I'm excited. Like the most recent vid. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Marshall. Appreciate that. Rick saying he lives in Florida for a reason. I don't blame you at all. And Roger Martin, 71 Bronco, Fort Worth, Texas. Hey, everybody. I'm glad you're here as well. You know, I did that, the previous video on the Valance, and I did put a longer version on Patreon, and that's probably where I'm going to be, continuing to do those sort of things. I've been, fighting with ideas and arguing with myself and trying to make things better, for myself and the community in a sense. So I have to put myself. Really, I need to put myself first when it comes to that sort of thing. So there will be a video on YouTube and there will be a video on Patreon. So take that for what it's worth. But I found out, or I did some more research on Patreon and YouTube. And, I thought, I maybe a hair better than I thought it was. YouTube, I thought it was a 50-50 split. No, it's a 45-55 split. And YouTube takes 45. So I got to thinking about that, and I'm thinking about that, and I'm beating myself to death because it's like I give up half of whatever I make just for the privilege of being on YouTube. That's what it's come down to. And think about that. If you were working for an employer and you made $100 and the employer said, well, you made $100, but I'm going to keep 45 of that because I'm letting you work here. That's really what it comes down to. And then on top of that, once that money is split, then I end up having to pay taxes on the money that I actually do get. So anyway, I'm just adjusting my format to compensate for all that. Wally, better late than never. Good evening, all. You get a bell for being the first Wally here. And the last Wally here. I don't think we've had more than one Wally, and not more than one Cooter, as we mentioned earlier. Yep. Crazy Florida man, Rick. Richard, hi gang. Greetings from Hernando, Florida. Glad you're here. Grease Rookie, the Valance turned out great. Thank you. And it looks even better with some epoxy on it, but I will soon have high build on there to really finesse it out. 64.5 Stang, sorry, Barry, but Kansas City had at least 2 rusty quarters. Didn't see that coming. But Kansas City had at least 2 rusty quarters. Okay. I'll have to refresh my memory on that. But Bad Harry, hi, Barry. I will not even talk about the weather here in Canada. You all enjoy the warmer weather. Yeah. Dennis Paulson, hi, Barry. 5 above in British Columbia, Canada. Little snow. Oh, 5 above is better than 5 below, right? Love the Valence Berry. I think there may be a market out there for these. What do you guys think? Well, from the feedback I've gotten, I've had people suggest that, but it's another one of those things where how do I mass produce such a thing? And then it just kind of becomes really complicated at that point. It would be nice if Dynacorn or somebody said, "Hey, we'd like to copy your design and give you a couple bucks off each sale." Fine, go ahead. But Chris, better. Oh, so Rick, have you considered channel membership with special content for members? I have thought of that, and I've looked at it on YouTube. For some reason, it doesn't appear that I have the option to offer memberships for some reason. I don't know what's going on. I've looked at that before, and I've tried to make it happen. They don't give me the option for some reason. So, Orion Gilchrist, I love you, my brother. I love you, my brother is a car fixer, and he has a Nova. Oh, cool. Tea time. Good looks don't pay the bills. Learned that one. Yeah. 100% right. I said I have a great face for radio. So, Steve, if you did a full technical vid like a fastback conversion, something that I would pay to have all the small details, that would be killer. Win-win for you and me. Yeah. You never know. You just never know. Darren, don't blame YouTube. Don't blame you. YouTube takes half. The government takes their cut. Doesn't leave much left. That is very, very true. And that's what's frustrating about it. And I've talked about this, and I hate to beat the horse, but YouTube doesn't care. YouTube doesn't care. All they care about is views. That's it. It doesn't matter how many subscribers you have. It doesn't matter how many videos you put out. It doesn't matter to them at all. It doesn't matter if it's a good quality video or just some garbage filmed on a throwaway phone. As long as they get their views, that's it. So, I had some aspirations of YouTube being much better than it is, and I kind of I guess I cashed my reality check. As I mentioned, I had a conversation with Phil earlier, in realizing that YouTube doesn't care what I do. As long as it's not offensive or have any weapons or anything like that in it, then I could keep feeding the fire. But unless it gets some sort of viral process where it's 1 million views or whatever, they don't care. They just don't care. So I have to be proactive now and think of myself and what I need to do to live and survive. So that's where I'm going with it. Wow, Chris is saying -12 to -14 Celsius in my area tonight. Yeah, you can have that. Andrew agrees with Steve. Orion, it's a 64 Nova. Oh, that's cool. I like those. Bad Harry, YouTube is like our Canadian government. I had one paycheck, worked a ton of overtime, where the government got $500 more than I did. You're getting it. That's exactly what I'm getting at. It's like, again, I'm YouTube doesn't have. Well, let me take a drink of coffee here. YouTube is a format. It is an application, let's say. And I can't think of another thing like this where you have to pay almost half of whatever you make just to have the option to be here. That's just, I still can't wrap my head around it now that the more I think about it, the more I'm like, I signed up for this. I signed up for this. Jerry, where do you copyright your material? Well, there is I don't know how technical it is, whether you receive sort of a copyright by having it broadcast. You know what I mean? I have it on my channel and it's put out there for the masses, but I don't have any means to copyright things other than that. If that answers the question by any form, I don't know. Dr. Boom, sorry I'm late. Well, I'm glad you're here anyway. Chris, Bad Harry, we get taxed on our check, then on whatever we purchase, then go to file income tax at the end of the year. Yeah, same thing here. We get government takes their cut from us, and then we pay taxes on every single thing that we buy, except for certain like food items. So it's just a matter of, incredible taxation. And, but 45% is what YouTube takes right off the top. 45%. And then, also, I do appreciate the super chats and super stickers and all that stuff. Thankfully, they only take 30% of that. Only 30%. Patreon, on the other hand, takes 5%. They take 5%. Now that's for the basic, setup. If I wanted to sell merchandise on Patreon, I have to pay 8%. And then they handle all the merchandise thing, I guess, somehow. But anyway. Caden, hi Barry. Hey Barry, I just had a quick question. What is the name of your sheet steel or steel in general supplier? Do you get yours done in a body shop? I just needed some to build a custom smoker. Well, you know what? I really don't have a supplier that I can point at and say, this is who I go to. However, I have a friend who does a lot of metal fabrication. He builds handrails and smokers and whatever, and he uses a company called Sable, Sabel. And I may be visiting them. Sable has a store or warehouse over in Noonan, which is about 25, 30 miles from me. And what I'm really thinking of doing is I've shown that expanded metal grill that I got from NPD. And I feel like I can do a better job, honestly. That grill is designed or built for a Shelby front end, so it's really like 4 inches narrower than the standard grill. So either I customize the one I have, or I go buy one and I make my own, which is what I would prefer to do. So I may be going over there to get maybe buy a half sheet of expanded metal so that I have enough to do the grill and maybe add a piece to the lower valance so it looks cool and, stop stuff from getting in there. But anyway, Sable, Sabel. 64.5. Thought on Thursday streams. He was hoping the Chiefs took a Super Bowl. That's what I meant. Oh, yeah. Okay, now I got you. Yeah, I didn't want the. I wanted the Chiefs to win. Just put it that way. Can you say my channel? I think I've already said it. If that's your name of your channel, I've said it before. Orion Gilchrist. Chris, Rusty Quarters. They should have just sat on the bench and watched the Buccaneers play toss. Yeah, it was not a good game. Derek, just do what you do best. Film the jobs. We love watching you work. Yeah, well, that's all part of it. Filming it, and then of course editing and follow-ups, and whatever else goes along with all the other stuff that happens. David and Cheryl, did you get any snow in Georgia? No snow, thankfully. Temperatures have been low enough, though. We had a hint of sleet, but that's as close as we got to any kind of snow. Samuel Lisa Smith, cutting trees and busting wood. My back hurts. Oh, that's never a good prospect to have a back hurting. Paul, morning from Sydney. Barry, on that note, what's going on with the Brooklyn Pony? You were getting 5 to 6 times more views when you were on it. Yeah. Well, the way that it has gone with the Brooklyn Pony is, and I've mentioned it before, I've tried to get parts for it, and I don't know what has caused the parts to not show up, because I've done a bunch of work to that car, tons of work to that car. And I wanted to get the bottom of the car done. The way I look at it, I want to get the bottom half done so I can work up and do the body, finish. Well, it is all the body work's done, but work my way up from there. So to do that, I want to be able to have fuel lines in place. I want to have brake lines in place. I want to have brake pedal, master cylinder, all those secondary pieces that are involved, because I've said it before, I don't want to do anything without having pieces test fit. I like to make sure everything is going to fit so I don't have to deal with it later. And for whatever reason, I just, haven't been able to get parts. So whatever's going on there, I don't know, but I got tired of waiting, I guess. And I said, I'm just going to finish up Jade. So that's how it is right now. No, I don't have a Joe Mama's hat. Sorry. Steve just sent you a pic on email showing the snow at my house. So that's, let's see. Hold on a second. I'll download that, Steve, so we can share in the love of snow. Hold on. Give me a second. And boom. Boomsy, right? Here comes. So there we have snow, showing the snow at my house. And I'm assuming that's in Scotland, because I don't think you have that on the West Coast, right? I'm gonna have to assume that's Scotland. Thank you, Steve. Let me get my mouse going again. Clark, I signed up for this. Famous last words. Yep. Yeah, I signed up for this. Yeah. And as I've said, I had aspirations that YouTube was going to flourish, but again, YouTube doesn't care. They don't care. So while I'm going to keep on working at it, keep on making videos, putting stuff out there. Yeah, it took me only 10 years to figure that out. Greg, hi Barry. I know how you feel, where it costs money to make video and you get nothing back. It hurts the wallet. Yes. Yep. You're very right, Greg. Yep. Roger Martin, although with COVID, it may be harder, doing a collaboration with other car channels could help grow your reaching like-minded subscribers. Yes, that's a great idea. And I just have to find somebody that I can associate with. That's the hard part. Chris, I can't wait for this new opportunity for me. Gets a lot of possibility. Gets a lot of the possibly later. Okay, so you're gonna want to be able to buy some parts, I'm guessing, when you get your new job. That feels like it's kind of hard to read right now. My mouse is fighting me. Okay. Get a lot of. Okay. Yeah. Okay. You're gonna upgrade to stereo and stuff. Sometimes the word translation doesn't work real well. Jerry, whoa! I got a moth flying around in here. Jerry's saying copyright is not a hard process. It generally requires submitting documentation, much like the songwriters do. Yeah. Again, that's time. I know it's a good idea, but time is my enemy. Okay, so Orion, Trunk Monkey Rod Shop, 68 Camaro build, Darren from Canada. Well, that's an interesting. I'll give you a bell for that. Trunk Monkey Rod Shop. That sounds really good. Do you have a sticker? I'd like to see a sticker for that. Dr. Boom, honestly, in mental health, private practice, it's the same. So you make $100 per session to help someone. The company will take 40 to 50% of each session, and you get the rest. The harder you work, the more they get. Exactly right. And the thing is, if you back up a second and you look at it, There's other, like Vimeo, which is associated with Patreon. Vimeo doesn't, they have an upfront fee. Okay. So I think in my case right now, it's like $20 a month that I can use Vimeo. Compare that to, if I make $1,000 on YouTube, then I'm giving YouTube $450 for me to use their services. I mean, it's really just mind-boggling. Yeah. And then there's other options out there. I think one's Rumble. Somebody mentioned about Rumble. I looked into that a little, but it didn't seem like it was the right thing for me. But with Patreon and Vimeo connected together, that's probably going to be my route. The other thing too is with the Vimeo service, I can restrict who gets to see those. From what I understand, reading the fine print, I can restrict it to just people on Patreon. Whereas YouTube, I can have an unlisted video and somebody can just share it. They can just share the link to it, and then it's all over the place. Darren, Google owns YouTube are threatening to restrict access to the Google search engine as new regulations state Google must pay for news articles they link to. Well, it wouldn't surprise me at all because they want to protect their income. Dave Bear, you still own your content, correct? You could use it in other mediums. Yes, I could. In fact, if I wanted to, and I don't plan to do this, at least not yet. If I wanted to, I could pull all my videos off of YouTube. My 600 plus videos, I could just pull them off, put them somewhere else, and make it more difficult, which I don't really want to do that. Len, has anyone done the front independent front suspension conversion, heights, rod, and custom? The independent front, I have not used heights. I did that TCI setup on the Brooklyn Pony, though. Darren, Google also said send their profits offshore to Singapore to prevent paying taxes in Australia. The government has threatened them, and they have threatened to pull out of Australia if they are made to pay. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're definitely in it for themselves. Definitely in it for themselves. Okay, is your Len's considering that on a Cougar? I'm right, yeah. Okay. Dr. Boom, Mercury. Oh, so for the Mercury, he says he went through Meyer racing with coilovers. They are top notch, in my opinion. Master still in a vid. I'll pay to watch that. Seriously. Yeah. Well, I have to have the materials. And, at this point, like I said, even if I get the materials and parts that I need, I'm already dedicated to getting Jade back together. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. Chuck. Hey, Barry. Chuck from Huntsville checking in. Like the work on lower balance on Jade. Looks slick. Thank you, Chuck. I appreciate that. You get a bell for being the first Chuck here tonight. Chris. So let's actually talk cars. What do you have to do to add speakers in areas that don't make people ask about the system? Add speakers in areas that don't make people ask. That's a tough question because anywhere you put a speaker, it'll be seen, right? I have seen people put speakers underneath seats, so I don't know if that's a consideration, if there's even room in like your Firebird. I know those seats aren't very tall, so there's probably not much of an option. Other than that, you might be able to put them behind the main seats, in the back, build a panel there and attach them, to the back so it kind of pushes through the seats themselves. Otherwise, you're looking at putting speakers underneath the dash somewhere or down in the quarters, kick panels, somewhere in that area. There's really not many options in a lot of these cars as to where you can hide, let's say, hide speakers. Good question, though. Crash Rider, maybe it's time to cut the cord on the Brooklyn Pony and find someone else that would like to have their project built for you. Well, let me tell you, I can't tell you how many people have contacted me wanting me to build their cars. I can't tell you how many, because I'm getting one, usually at least one a week, that people want to bring me their car, all the parts, cash, and say, oh, do this for me, do this for me, do this for me. So, if that's an option, maybe that's the option I need to look at, because I'm missing out on revenue opportunities, honestly, by having to twiddle my thumbs on things. I've been nice about it. I've been, trying to do the right thing, but you may be right. Maybe that's an option, and I haven't pursued that yet, but that could be an option. And I have a lot of time in this car. I have a lot of time in the Brooklyn Pony, extra time, more time than I should have, because of all the changes along the way. That has really drawn things out as well. So anyway, that's a good idea, though. Thank you for that. March Indy, hey Barry, I just wanted to tell everyone that it's very easy to sign up on Patreon. I just did it in like 3 minutes. It's worth it to me for the info I've got here. Rick, I did see the notification you popped up on my phone with that, and thank you for that. That's awesome. Okay, so Len is asking, Boom, did you have to cut out the shock towers? There's variations to those designs. I've seen some where you leave the shock tower in and you put a coilover setup on the in place of the shock and the spring. Looks like a pretty nice setup. I can't think of the companies right now. 64. If you ever quit YouTube, start a repair DVD series. You'll make a fortune. You're very thorough. Well, thank you for that. That's a great idea. It's a great idea. You never really know. Chris, I don't particularly pay attention in English class in high school. It shows. Steve, Barry, I watched a video the other day of this guy training like an anime character. Dude had over 1 million views over a week period. I feel like people will watch stupid crap and blow their channels up. Yeah. Well, that's the whole point. That's the whole point. That's what YouTube promotes too. They're like, oh, look, here's something ridiculous that everybody's watching. So let's just promote that. Make sure it gets out there, and we can, that's all they care about. That's all they care about. Trunk Monkey, I'll send you all the stickers you have, I guess. I would like that. I've got a toolbox over here with several, YouTube channels on it. So Trunk Monkey Rod Shop, that would be cool. Yeah, 68 Camaro build too. That's nice. So Dr. Boom is saying shows not to cut out the towers. I wanted to keep somewhat old school. Good call. Paul, Barry, love the videos you make as they are helpful and showcase your skills, but it is a niche market your viewers come from. What if you mix it up with a few videos of custom Mustangs here or there? And that may be an option. One thing I will do, and I do. I mean, custom Mustangs may or may not be what I get into, but I've done I have a ton of repair videos on there too, doing brake jobs or whatever on different vehicles, changing oil, just work, a variety of stuff. I do plan on doing. I have this little Honda Civic. That's going to be a mix-up, that I'm going to rebuild the front of that car. So hopefully that maybe gets some people interested. Also, I'm debating on doing a plastic coat video. I picked up that 2007 Honda Fit that the paint's faded out of it. And I'm really just thinking I know people have done it before, but I'm thinking about doing it as well, doing a plastic coat, a plastic dip type of video on that, just because I don't like the red, but I don't want to paint the whole car and spend, a ton of money on doing all the body work. With that plastic dip or plastic coat, you can just prep it and spray it for the most part. Paul, if you're in your video list or even find a Mustang car chase and put catchy video names, these type gain up to 300,000 more views. These will go a long way to help. Yeah. I mean, that's probably not a bad idea either. Steve, think about YouTube is I'm happy YouTube is around because it had brought your content to me. It's now up to me to ask you for help with my car and up to you to help, plus figure a way to make money at the same time. Yes. I mean, I understand it. I understand it. Okay, so Len's saying he has a big block and needs more room, so then you probably already got your answer then. If you're going to cut the shock towers out, you need to get the Fat Man or something like that with the Mustang 2 suspension. Steve, before you pull me off, let me know. I need a few vids of yours to install TCI and wheel fitment. Yeah. Pull vids off. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. I'm not going to pull them. I mean, I don't plan to pull them. You know, it's just thinking about things. So there's some conversation. Let's see. Daniel Shader, time to open a larger version of Joe Daddy's Garage. Yeah, maybe that's what has to happen. I don't know. Greg, high barrel, like 6.5, 289 high compression coupe. Well, thank you, Greg. Chris, dumb question. I'm looking at a radio, says 180 watt for 4 speakers. Says not to use OEM speakers. Speakers now are 240 watts. Total wattage is 40 and 720. What do I need to change? That's a good question. That is a good question. I don't have a good answer. So if anybody has any help for Chris on the radio question, by all means, give him a response. Barry, I forgot you did TCI suspension. You didn't have to cut the shock towers, correct? It was all new aprons on the Pony, right? Yeah, it was all new stuff on the Brooklyn Pony. There are no shock towers. They're full aprons on the Brooklyn Pony. Robert, need to scout out a place for a new and bigger shop. Yep. Yeah. If I could, I would move to Alabama where I could have a much bigger shop and not so many neighbors. Rick, if you trailer the Brooklyn Pony back to its owner, you can pick up my car on your way home. No word from the shop that has my car yet. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, I get so many calls and emails and contacts. They're like, I'll bring you the car. I'll bring you all the parts, Dave, I was wondering if you could use video stills to compile either a how-to book or a complete start to finish project journal. I understand it's a lot of work, but you have content done already. Yeah, I mean, that's another option. Again, the hard part over all this is, I am the CEO, the CFO, the personnel manager, every single thing of this is just me, fixing, filming, editing, whatever. So that's the hard part along with it. Cooter Levy need to implement standby time fees in your build agreement if delays are out of your control. Their cars taking up your space and preventing you from earning. You are absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And that's what it's become right now. Standby fees will motivate car owners to get problems solved, and your income isn't impacted as much. That is very true. Good point, Cooter. Daniel, a video of, say, a motorcycle would be cool. Yes, that there will be videos on a motorcycle. There will be videos on a motorcycle. I have to make sure I've got certain things out of the way before I can get on that. Robert, my welding helmet rant is about as far as I will go in that regard on YouTube. Yeah. That was a good rant though. And I hope you painted it up to look like Iron Man. That would be cool. Is your welding helmet, that is. Rick, have you gotten the hood for the Honda yet or still on back order? I have it. I have the hood for the Honda. And I think I touched on that. It was really weird that I had ordered stuff from Summit, and I went to pick up what I knew was a core support. They said the core support was there, And I was waiting for the hood and another piece to show up. So why should I make the trip twice? So I actually drove my little Honda Fit. The Honda Fit is about this big by this wide, right? But I figured a core support, I can chuck it in the back, So I get there, and they pull out this box after 2 hours of waiting. They pull out this box that is huge. And in that box was not only my core support, but the hood and the other piece, and a grill for a Chevy truck, and a bumper cover for some other car, and a headlight thing for a Mustang, and all this stuff. Turns out they clicked into my core support saying, "Yep, it's here," but they never opened a box, and there was a hood sticking out of the box. Literally, half the hood was standing upright out of the box. So because their inventory was off and they hadn't processed it properly, I never got to know or didn't know that my stuff was there. So the hood is actually sitting right here. I have the hood. I have all the pieces. But I'm now kind of waiting on the weather because I want it to be warmer, because I know I'll be going in and out of the garage somewhat, and I need to be able to get the Mustang in the back into the paint area. So I'm doing this, you remember, I call it the Icky Shuffle. Do you remember the Cincinnati Bengals had a player called Icky Woods? I think he was a running back. And after he would score a touchdown, he would do this little dance, and he called it the Icky Shuffle. So we used to always call it the Icky Shuffle when you have to move stuff around all the time. But thank you for asking, Rick. I know I kind of rambled off there. So Jessica's saying, "Hi, I'm sorry I'm late. Have you seen the amount of Reddit videos and how quick they get views? What BS?" Yeah, I've been on Reddit a little bit, not much. Bad Harry, did you ever put a roll bar in a Mustang? I sent a couple pics of one I am installing in my 67. I have not. Okay, so hold on a second. I've got some other emails that I'm just now seeing. Whoops. Harry sent me some pictures. Let me see if I can. Wow, the picture shows up as a like 1-to-1 scale. It's huge. See if I can do this. All right, there we go. So there's one. See if I can get the other one. Oh, that looks pretty good. Oh, I clicked the wrong button. Hang on. All right. Let me pull those up so we can have a look at the roll bars or roll bar setup that Bad Harry's putting in his fastback. And you got to wait for the little dial to turn and the stuff to bounce off the atmosphere and come back to my laptop. So here is the roll bar that he's putting in a 60. I want to say 67, correct? Fastback. Pull this off. Yeah. Yeah, that looks, I like that. Is there a secondary hoop, or am I just seeing things? No, I guess it's just the way it looks. I was thinking there was like a little secondary hoop between the main hoop and the B pillar. I was thinking it looked like there was something there, like to reinforce the B pillar area, but apparently I'm just seeing things. So let me go back to my brand, and here's another shot. Yep. I've never done that. That does look good. And I know you're going to need it for what you're doing. All right, let me see where I'm at. Okay. $64.5 saying, Robert, your GoPro rants were classic. Yeah. My wife never watches any of the videos that I watch. But I will say, when I watched Robert and his GoPro rant, my wife stopped in here and she looked, stuck her head in, and she was like, "What's that?" And I said, this is Robert talking about his GoPro," and she started chuckling. She found it entertaining, so you get points for that, Robert. Steve, custom Mustang, great idea. I'm telling you, people are trying to figure out how to kick fenders out like Unicorn and Maya Racing. I know you're a purist and would hate that look. No, I don't hate that look. I don't hate that look at all. I just don't have the uh, machinery to make that happen. But I don't hate that look. Don't get me wrong. Joe Lee Cox, good evening. What do you think about applying ceramic coating on a new paint job? You know, I don't have an answer for that because I have not tried it. I've heard good things, but I've also heard some confusing things. So if anybody has put on ceramic coating on a new paint job, let Joe know. Now, there may be some a certain timeline involved. You'd have to let everything vapor out, before you can coat it, I would guess. But that's about all I can say on that. Wally, hey Chris, is that rated power RMS as a? Oh, you're talking about the speakers. Okay, so good. You can talk about the speakers. DD Speed Shop, never enough space, never enough. Yeah, and I've got a small shop when it comes down to it. Chris, with a vintage air kit, do you have enough? Do you have to upgrade your electrical system, bigger alternator battery, to transfer a non-AC to AC car? No, because it's a simple switching system. It's just on or off, really. Blower motor and all that stuff probably may even draw less power than the factory setup. So, but no, you don't have to upgrade that. Jessica, thing about a full-on shop, besides the insurance, is finding people to work for you that are as good as you. That you get 2 bells for that. That was a hard part, even when we had the body shop. Many times I had to go right behind somebody and fix what they had worked on because it wasn't good enough. Okay, so Nick Moss is checking in. Glad you're here, Nick. Steve is saying he cut the towers out of his before the TCI install. It took me a month and a half with a sawzall. You need a sharper saw. Cheryl, going to get off here and carry in wood and add wood to the stove. Hope everyone stay safe and warm. Thank you, Cheryl. Greg, I got no room left as well. Yep, you're in a tight space, Greg. And I know I've seen your videos, and you're in a tight space. That's for sure. Rick doesn't seem to know how big the shop is. We always seem to find a way to fill it. Yeah, and I go out of my way to not try to add too much into the shop. Walls and stuff, decoration, whatever. But I really try to limit what I have in here. And considering that I've had this building since 96 is when it was built. I think I've done pretty good, actually. I have one corner over there in the back that is like my catch-all. I mean, there's engines over there. There's half a Camaro over there. There's cardboard and boxes. And that's kind of my catch-all corner that eventually will have to be cleaned out so I can put other stuff there. And part of that may be getting the basket case Camaro together as well. Drag Boss is in the house. Glad you're here. Clark, how about a Honda Odyssey driving video? Honda Odyssey driving video. Well, I don't know if that would be invaluable. But I will be making a road trip soon, me and my wife. So maybe maybe we could put something together. Let's see. So Dr. Boom's talking to Steve. Nick. Man, there's a lot of YouTube channels on this thing, and I watch most of them just now clicking with me. Just now clicking with me. Oh, you're talking about the people that are here? Steve. Okay, so he's talking to Dr. Boom. Bob, that's showing your age by who knows the icky shuffle. Yeah. Well, can you do the icky shuffle? That's the question, though. Do you know how to do the icky shuffle? Dennis, by 6.5 Mustangs at the shop for some time now. Your vids on Brooklyn Pony has opened my eyes. Yep. There's a lot that goes into these that people don't realize. You know, you tend to. I think it was Goodmunder comment. I think it was Goodmunder commented once about how many pieces make up a Mustang. Lots and lots and lots. I don't know what the number is. I don't know if somebody ever has added up every individual piece and part to a Mustang. Well, any car, but let's just say a Mustang. You add up all the sheet metal pieces, you add up all the trim pieces, all the screws and bolts and, specialty hardware and whatever. And it takes a lot to keep up with that stuff. And then also to get it back together right. So there's a lot of work that goes in all that. Okay, Dr. Boom and Steve. Roll bar looks good. I agree. Len, has anybody just notched their shock towers to create more room? Big blocks in a Ford are tight. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good idea. I'm sure somebody has done it. I think I've seen some of that done, but I don't know that it's a good idea. Bob, I'm glad I got company in that shuffle game. It seems it will be impossible to get started on the 70 Mach. Yep. Hold on. Let me see where we're at. We have Willie Goodman checking in. Good evening, ladies and gents. Dennis, hit the send button. Hit the send button. I need to get on your Patreon so I can help you for all the super great info you're on providing. I may have to send you email for help. Okay. Well, if you go on any of my last videos, I've been doing it for probably the last 20, 30 videos at least. If you go in the description box down below, there will be a link that says Patreon. And you can click on that, and that'll at least get you to the page, and then you can sign up, based on that process. There's also links on my header channel over top, like up in the corner over here on my main YouTube channel. There's a link for Instagram, Patreon, and Teespring. You could also click there, and that should take you to that place as well. Let's see. So we have some other side conversations. Hiroski, are you a Holley Edelbrock or a Motorcraft carburetor guy? I have to say I'm an Edelbrock. I've had good luck with Edelbrock. I know some people haven't, but anything I've put Edelbrock on, I haven't hardly had to do anything. So I'm going to have to say Edelbrock. Chris is going with Rochester. BK Woods, hi Barry, on the roll bar. I had angled the B pillar back a bit to hide it from view. So he's talking to you, Bad Harry. He's thinking about angling that. But there may be, the rules may not allow for that, because that is a genuine safety issue in that car, because he's going to be racing that car. So he's probably looking at it more from the fact that whatever the rules say, that may be, implied that it has to be a 90 degree or something. Leonard, evening all. How's everyone doing? Glad you're here, Leonard. Let's see. So back to Footage Factory and Len. All right. Doing well. Steve, Jessica, it's true about working with other people, especially because other people's work ethic is different than your own, 100% of the time. Lightning Rod, how big is your shop? The width, 24 feet. Length, 36 feet. That's the main shop. I was limited to 900 square feet when the shop was built. So 24 by 36 gets me almost to that. And then I've added on to the back of the shop. So I have a paint area where it's a continuation of the width of being 24. So it's actually, for that area, it's a length because it's a side entrance. So 24 and then 14. So the footprint for the shop is 24 by 50. Which is, that's a good size building, as long as you're only doing one or two cars at a time. and you don't have any equipment. Let's see. Steve, yes, my shop is kind of small. I'm building a new garage, 4-car, but I have to sell the house in Washington to make it happen. It's tough to make content while jumping through all these hoops. Yes. Bad Harry, I am waiting for sheet metal also. I had to change jobs. Now building triangular 4-link. Need a couple measurements, one from ground to rocker in front of rear wheel. Other is frame to top of rear end. I don't know if I can help you with that, but I'll try if we can figure that out. Let me get back here. Make sure that. Okay. So Bob, I don't know. He's saying yes, I do. I'm not sure what though. Chris, I seen another formula for sale, 4-speed, 350. Why did people order them wrong? Well, they did what they had to do. Nick, sometimes you end up with more pieces than you had when you started as well. Yes. Yes. I can't argue with that. You know, you end up with a bolt or a screw or something. It's like, I don't know where this came from, but nothing's rattling. Yes, Icky Woods did the Icky Shuffle. Exactly right. 64. What refrigerant is JJC running? R134A or the new explosive? I'm going to use R134A. That's what I'll have in there. Dr. Boom. Okay, so he's talking to Dr. Boom. Check in. Been waiting on parts as well. 3 months for heads for VW. Stuff for the Mustang 2. Makes for slow going. Yes, I agree with that. Leonard, been watching putting Crown Vic front suspension on F100s. That's some job, but looks worth it. Yeah, I actually had somebody ask me to do that for them too. They wanted me to do that. They wanted me to put in change out the suspension on F100. Just starting our channel this summer. How long have you been on YouTube and how have you grown your channel? Any advice is appreciated. Well, I've been on YouTube over 10 years. And grown my channel. I can't say I'm the best at doing that. You know, it seems like it's just been word of mouth and random hits and misses that have grown the channel. I've still been getting probably 600 or 700 new subscribers a month. If I actually go to the live stream or to my analytics, I'm sorry. That's roughly where I'm at. I can click on that and give you some numbers. My analytics tell me I'm gaining about 688 subscribers a month right now. So, you know, it's not like it's the big guys who get 1 million subscribers and get millions and millions of views. So we've talked about it. You know, this is probably sort of more of a niche channel for what I do, and that may be part of the conflict. DP, if I recall correctly, Icky had a music video. I think he did. I think you're absolutely right. I'll give you a bell because I think that's right. Sounds right. Isn't Edelbrock carb like the old Carter AFB? I believe it is. Harvey, I think the company Carcraft is cutting the side of the shock towers and welding in a flat plate on the 69 big block FE motors or motor Mustangs when they were new. That may be what they did. I don't remember. I wasn't there at that time, but I've seen some modifications, but I can't say what that exactly how it was. Hiroski, I don't think Carter makes carbs anymore. Yeah, I think that's what we're implying here. Basically, that Edelbrock took over the design, I believe. Don Thompson, your paint area is the same as my shop. Yeah. Well, I mean, I do. I mean, I appreciate the size of the shop that I have. But, you know, if I had twice the size of the shop, I would have twice the stuff in here. But I could probably also have people kind of helping me and, you know, working with or for me. So, never know. Cargo, yeah, I thought Edelbrock bought out Carter. Can't remember. Yeah, I think that's exactly what they did. Lightning Rod, do you do a great job in a shop that size. I have a 24 by 20 and do a lot less. Yep. Yeah, I mean it's like I said, it's it's full, but I can still walk around the car and do things, and uh, we always need bigger shops. So Wally, Edelbrock brought the rights to Carter uses unique metering rods, which are easier to adjust than Holly power valves. Yes. Thank you, Wally. Chris, my sister laughs and quotes your shop. My sister laughs and quotes your shop will be immaculate and big house, one floor where you can cook in the kitchen, watching living room TV in a bedroom. Yep. Well, I'd be happy with that. I looked at a shop over in Alabama, and I could not convince my wife that it was a good idea. And it was a huge shop. I think it was, if I remember right, it was 40 by 80. I think it was 40 by 80. And it had a built-in apartment on the side, which is like a trailer, but it was actually built in. It wasn't like towed in and dropped there. It was built. And it had a bedroom, it had a kitchen, it had a living room, had a bathroom, a little laundry room. And I was like, this is what we need. I said, I'll build you a house later, but I want to buy this shop. And she wouldn't go for it. But it was, I'm pretty sure it was at least 40 by 80. It was huge. In my eyes, it was huge. And plus it was super tall. So I could have easily put in a loft system and not had to deal with stuff on the floor. Leonard, been watching you now for 8 years. Well, thank you, Leonard. We're getting old together, right? Jerry, on the T5 rebuild, I'm doing the main shaft head pitting on the input shaft. Remanufacturing is 4 weeks plus 6 days shipping. Wow. That's 6 days shipping. Nick, is it coming on horseback? I think they could probably do it in less than 6 days on horseback. Jessica's Two Car Garage. Deck chairs on a Titanic movie El Camino to bring in other whatever. Have to get that done the same night. Can't leave El Camino outside in the complex. A shop and a dealer license is my goal. Yeah, that's a good idea. 64. I'm videoing. I'm making videos on my 65 Mustang restoration just for myself. It's a lot of work and time. My hat goes off to you for all work you put in. Thank you. Thank you for that. And that's one thing I've mentioned that before. We were trying, when I first started doing the videos, it was trying to promote our body shop. And I know you see the videos. I'm still wearing my Midway Collision t-shirt or sweat, long sleeve t-shirts, because I don't care that it's a ratty t-shirt. It's keeping junk off of me. And, I just don't care. But that's how I started, was making videos for the body shop, trying to keep, drum up business and stuff. And so I've been, making those videos. And then in 2006, 2007, I made some videos here in the shop. That was actually my first videos of in the shop, but it was not those videos were not meant for public consumption, let's say. And those were of the Model A, the 31 Model A that I built. My grandfather's Model A that I restored. And when I made those videos, the idea was that I would be able to look at those videos, because I never took apart a Model A before. I've taken apart a lot of things, but sometimes you want to know how stuff came apart, because when you go to put it back together, you might not get it. So I made those videos for me and my family, basically. And then as time went on, I was like, you know what? I could probably put those on YouTube, because other people could use that information. So that's why the format is slightly different on those Model A videos, because those are more like family type of videos. But it takes work to do any of this stuff. Lots of time. Lots and lots of time. Let's see. Cooter, my shop is too big. Said no car guy ever. Yes. I agree with that. Jessica Sugar Garage. If I want a new Quadrajet, and if you want a new Quadrajet, you go to Jet Performance. Interesting. I'll give you a bell. because I assume, I don't know. I have not dealt with them. Uh, Footage. Steve, what's wrong with Alabama? Did a wife not want to head out there? No, we actually have talked about moving there. We were looking at houses over there, several houses before COVID hit. That was definitely on our radar, was to find a house in Alabama. Um, it's the place we were looking, small scale. Um, Taxes were almost nil. The I was looking at properties over there, 5 acres, uh, 3,500 square foot house, a shop, whatever, and their taxes on the year were like $600. Yeah, seriously. So that's why I was really pushing for it. But then, of course, COVID came and changing career plans and changing income, and it was like, I guess we're not moving. So, Chris, my dream is 3 cars wide with an upper loft with a pool table and a malt shop theme. That sounds cool. BK Woods, Edelbrock is closing its main headquarters. Hope it's not a sign of the industry. That would not be a good thing. Steve, you said you sent me an email, but I don't see it. Is it arriving on horseback? Lightning rod. Google Shouse, Shouse. It's a big shop with an attached garage. Just what we all need. Just convince the wife. Well, the other term is barn dominium. That's the term I like. Barn dominium. So if you look up barn dominium, that's what it ends up being. Is basically taking on like a barn style or design and making like half of it a shop and the other half your house, and you never have to leave. You're always right there. Some people actually use it as a barn and a house, like for animals, but I would want to do it as cars and stuff. Okay, Steve said send me a picture, but it's not showing up, Steve. Jessica, California taxes. I'm guessing taxes. I don't know if there's more on that or not. Chris, remember have fun reaching the last spark plug for the 428, 429. My dad laughed at his brother for lifting the motor up half an inch and chain broke, scratching the top of the fenders. Yeah, that doesn't sound good. Bubba, thanks for helping all us mechanics. You are welcome. Nick, I just want to lift. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. 8 pound, 6 ounce, sweet baby Jesus. The hands are willing, but the back is crackly and poppy. Yeah, as I'm aging, and I'm remembering that I was in the infantry in the Army, jumping out of airplanes and doing all kinds of fun, crazy stuff. And now that I'm reaching not quite mid 50s, things snap, crackle, and pop a lot. I can't get up from a chair without having my ankles crunchy sounds. Greg, hi Barry. They were great videos. Thank you, Greg. Bad Harry, car hoist, best tool in my garage. You're saying a car, I guess you're talking about a lift. We may have different terms, hoist or lift. Chris, I'm not a Chevy guy, but they did up their engine compartment. Yeah, they did. You definitely can do a lot more with a Chevy engine compartment. Rick, Edelbrock is moving to Mississippi. Maybe that's a good thing. All right, Steve. Okay, now let me see if I can pull that up so we can look at Steve. See if this will open. Hold on. Okay. So there's Steve's, I guess, future house by the looks of it. Kind of hard to make out all the details, but that looks great. I see it's got several bays on the side there. Cool. That'll be awesome. Okay. Trunk Monkey. Hey, brother, go to. Oh, got to go and shovel the driveway. Respect from Canada, negative 40 Celsius in the morning. Still got to get to the shop every day or nothing will get done. Peace. Well, I'm glad you were here, man. Stay warm. Rick Edelbrock is also merging with comp cams. Well, that's not surprising. Chris, I live in rural Ontario. I'm going to convert an old barn to the garage. Yeah, that's the best thing to do. Bubba, oh, come on. I'm 70 and still working every day. You're a young dude. Yeah. Oh, I'm still working every day. Yeah. But I also know that the stuff that I did when I was in the Army is coming back to haunt me. Landing rod, half garage, half house. No, big garage, small house. Yeah, you can do that too. That's the nice part about it. You can configure it however you want. Don Thompson, yeah, I'm 68, still at it. Yep. Dave Britton checking in. Glad you're here, Dave. 64 and a half stang. I didn't know my bones could make a bunch of sounds until I hit 50. Yeah. Well, like I said, I was in the Army, I was in the infantry, and I was a mortar gunner. So I carried lots and lots of weight. And my ankles have paid for it over the years. In fact, I was having ankle issues when I was in. So I'm surprised that I've kept up as well as I have over this period of time, honestly. Nick Edelbrock, I would bet you was moving to Mississippi for a tax break. We had a brass mill move down there years ago for that reason. I've heard of other places doing the same. Yeah. Well, that's what we have here in my community. It was, well, they changed the name of it. Oh, it was Pinewood Studios. Pinewood Studios. So all the Marvel movies that you've seen, if you've seen them, particularly Iron Man and all that stuff, a lot of those were filmed right here. Literally not even maybe 10 miles from my house. They have built Pinewood Studios because of tax breaks. And now they've changed the name because Pinewood, they've kept the name for a period of time, but actual owners of Pinewood Studios is the same people that own Chick-fil-A. Well, not the studio lot here in Georgia. So the family that owns Chick-fil-A has bought Pinewood Studios here in the local area, and now they've changed it to Trilith. But it's all because they moved here because of tax breaks, and that's incentive for companies. Lightning rod, what airline fittings do you use? I'm tired of the cheap leaking ones. I use. I actually have them listed on my Amazon page. I use quick disconnects. Yeah, kind of hard to see, but I don't have one close to me, but they're quick disconnects. The trick with airline fittings is you have to make sure. I don't know why they even have two different versions. You have the male end and the female end, or whatever, but the little band, the little ring that goes at the base of the fitting, they have two different sizes. So unless you have the right size, you'll have a leak. I've had some where my air tools came with a certain fitting, and I plugged it into my airline and leaks. So anytime you're doing that, find one, or replace them or whatever, but find the ones that don't leak and then replace all of your male fittings to match. I run into that a lot of times with my air tools, that there's issues with the size of that bottom ring on the air hose. Chris, well, hopefully NHRA goes belly up and we can have fun at the strips again with our low buck builds and not the big money junk that's on TV. If NHRA goes belly up, I don't know how any of those places can stay open. They need that. They need that lifeblood of fans to keep those tracks open. So careful what you ask for on that. Leonard, these young Utes nowadays. Yeah. Mike Cook, Barry, I really like your front balance design. I may try it because my 67 overheats a lot. It may help. Yep. Well, I'm hoping that balance design works, and it's pretty. I think it's pretty simple as far as a concept. You know, I didn't try to make it super complicated, and hopefully somebody can use that information. Steve, click the link, get Barry some money, buy fittings with link. Yep, on Amazon. Thanks, Steve. Bad Harry, I'm feeling every pain from when I was young and said, hold my beer, watch this. Yeah. Well, like I said, I've ran and marched many miles in the 3 years that I was in. And yeah, it definitely is coming back to get me now. I'm finding that even my knee is acting up. One of my knees is acting up, but it's what we deal with. Welder, Edelbrock headquarters in California is moving to Memphis, Tennessee because the investment company that owns them and Comp Cams is combining their corporate admin functions to save money. Well, that's something else that I wanted to mention. Thank you for that. Since you're bringing this up, but Edelbrock, Comp Cams, I found out that Holly is now not just Holly. I have a friend who works for Holly. He's does Q&A for them, online help, and he was talking about Holly is now, I can't even think of all the companies that fall under the Holly umbrella, and he said we have to know all that stuff. So like Hooker Headers, I think, and there's a whole variety of companies that have now fallen under the Holly umbrella. So maybe that's something Edelbrock is doing with Comp Cams, and who knows who else they might get on board. Welder, some folks from Edelbrock headquarters will move to their California foundry instead of moving. I think Comp Cams already has a main office in Memphis. Okay. Will move to their California foundry. Interesting. Seamus Johnson. Hello. Glad you're here. Steve, I'm happy they're leaving California. I'm from California, so I can say this. California is the worst for anything business, anything automotive. I will not argue with that one bit, Steve. For everything I've heard and read about, how Edelbrock treats companies that are like that, it's no wonder people are leaving. I think even isn't Elon Musk, I don't know if he's technically moving the business, or if he's just moving his nameplate to Texas, I believe, because of all that. Buddy or Bubba, thank you for your service. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Chris, what's the best way to get your dream cars? I have some unobtainables, but if I clone them, it's half the price. But I'd love to actually have one from the line. Mercury Cougar Eliminators are crazy. Yeah. I guess I have to play the lottery. That's about all I can say. Lettered, man, if NHR goes down, there goes wanting to restore cars out the door. That may be. I don't think we want to lose NHRA. Jessica, I miss Brotherhood Raceway Park was a drag racing venue on Terminal Island, Long Beach, California. Run what you brung. So there's a lot of little, drag strips that have shut down over the years. So Chris, Leonard AHRA is reopening. Okay. 64. So many companies heading to the middle states for tax reasons. The U.S. might fold in half from all the weight. Len, does anybody use the Max Air system for their airlines? I don't, but that may be a question somebody else can answer. Max Air system. Nick, save or try to get a loan. They do have them for classic cars. So that's in response to Chris wanting to find his dream car. So save as much as you can. Welder, notwithstanding the government regulation issue, the folks from California may be trying to get out before it breaks off and falls into the ocean. That is a possibility as well. Greg, he says, hi, we'll be able to get everything in the one place soon. Yeah, talking about Holly and the different companies merging together. Steve, Elon Musk, 38 years ago, my mom worked in that old factory before it was Tesla. When pregnant with me, the factory used to be booming. Now people can't wait to leave California. I'm hearing that a lot. The only thing I will say, express, is if if you're moving out of California, if you're moving out of California to say a different state that doesn't have those kind of policies or whatever, don't bring California politics to your state. Just saying. Just saying. If you're leaving because of stuff going on in the state that you don't like, don't bring that mentality to another state and then turn that into another California. Just my thought. There's a reason why you're moving. You got to change your mindset and merge into the company or the state that you're going to. Chris, Barry, you like metal fab? What if I bring you a completely rusted Mercury Montego GT and you fabricate brand new sheet metal steel or new sheet steel? Nah, I don't have the equipment for that. I wouldn't even try it. Wouldn't even try it. Jerry, I use the Max Air system. It is awesome. So there you go. There's a response to the Max Air question. Chris, wider shops are better than longer. I guess, is that a question? It depends on what you're doing. There are times where I wish I would have had this shop turned this way and had 3 entry doors on the side. There's times where, different configurations work better than others. In my case, having a longer shop, I could put the lift in the back. Whereas, if I had doors on the side, I could have had it again in the back, but it would have just taken up a bay instead of half the width of the shop. So there's variations to obviously shop configurations, but you have to kind of weigh it out. For me, this worked out best for what I had in mind. If I built another one, it would be probably different, but that's how it goes. Ish, amen to that, sir. New York is just as bad as California. Yeah. Yep. Unfortunately. Steve, I left the politics in California. They chased me to the next state, so I decided to move counties. Hope they don't follow me out to the UK. I think he meant countries there. Yeah, well, I don't know how. I hope. I don't know. It's crazy. Nick, I think he likes painting better. Paint my car. Actually, paint is not high on my list of things that I enjoy. I'm okay at it, but it's not my favorite. I would rather be doing welding and making patches. Lightning rod, just don't bring your politics to your new state. Amen. Yes, definitely. 64, are any parts still made in the U.S.? Most repo stuff I get is not. It's a shame. I don't know. I really don't know. I can't say because I don't know. Gordon, your only mistake on this garage is sun angle on the door. Yeah, I can't argue with that. Or the fact that I have just a simple steel door because I never considered the idea that I would have heat and air in here. So I could have, if I had laid it out better for that process, then I wouldn't be struggling, or have so much difficulty heating and cooling this. Chris, could stack with wider 2-4 post lifts. My neighbor fits 6 in a 25 by 35. Yeah, you could do that, but I want to, depends on what you're using your shop for. Dan, check Higgins heads from Australia making 900 horsepower, naturally aspirated on pumped gas, 351 small block. Wow, that sounds impressive. Dave, Barry, if you like welding and making patches, there's plenty of work in Canada. Well, there's plenty of work here. Um, I have, I talked before about the 67 fastback conversion that I might do, but I've actually got people wanting to bring me like a fastback and rebuild their fastback, just do the sheet metal work. So I'm okay with that as long as I can, find it a home. Uh, it gets complicated, obviously. Nick, yeah, man, moved to Canada on the way up, circle around my car for a few times until it's white. Leonard, my garage door gets heat in the summer and ice in the winter. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I didn't even think about it when I was doing the shop because I just didn't care. I just needed a space. I was doing everything in my house garage. In fact, if you go in there, there's still a chain hanging through the ceiling, or I have a 4x4 running across the trusses so I could pull engines out in my garage. But yeah, and that was pretty tough working in that little space. Chris, I'll wait till a barn comes up for sale to hold my garage. Yep, there you go. Nandu earns or EMS Automotive makes patch panels in Detroit, but not for all cars. Well, thank you for that. I have not heard of EMS, but I don't know who they make parts for. Steve, I think fixing a fastback will be a good video, but a conversion would get more views from all the dudes with coupes. If you can't tell, I'm one of them. Yeah, I agree. It would definitely get views. Ish, would it be feasible to lease the rights from Ford in order to start a company to make authentic Mustang parts made in the USA? I don't know if we'd have enough money to be able to pull that off. Honestly, that would be. In fact, they've got leases probably on the parts that are being sold now, but the problem is the tooling. They don't have any of the original tooling, from what I understand, and that's what we really need. Jessica, I want to move to the UK and work on imports. Ford, Chevy, Dodge, said my dad more than once. Yeah, work on the imports. Move to the UK and work on the imports. I like it. I like that. That's funny. Dave, Barry, did you build the garage or buy the place with it? No, I built the garage. Me and Roger, pretty much. Had a company come in and pour all the concrete, and then Roger and I framed up the walls, got them up, and then had another friend help me put the trusses up, and I think I did the roof actually by myself. I think I think that I did the whole roof by myself, which was a lot of fun. But yeah, it was. I had to build it. Gordon, Barry, we're both only 19 years old. Only have 40 years experience, and you have 33 years experience. Yeah. Yep. 19 on the inside, right? Leonard, hey, Chris Norum is starting to make sheet metal for Gran Torinos. Cool. That's a good thing. Chris, is it bad to have a collection goal of 20 and want 7 classic cars, one for every day of the week? No. Got to have goals. I want one of every car made. Probably won't get there, but it would be, where would I put them all? Steve, oh, come on, Barry. You basically built B-Pony ground up with Dynacorn. I wish Ford could see that vid and license you to recreate oldies. Yeah, they've actually licensed out to companies that are doing that, building bodies, companies that have lots of, deep pockets and stuff. Vincenzo, how do you take off seatbelt light on dash? It just stays on even with seatbelts snapped. Well, that's a good question. because basically, let's see how that would be wired, because if your seatbelt clicks into, when the seatbelt goes together, it should activate like a micro switch, or create or break a ground, I think is what it would technically be, to shut the light off, because you need power and ground for the light to work. So if you're plugging in a seatbelt, I would assume that would break ground, I think. So you've got some sort of problem with the receiver. Without, what kind of car is it, I guess, is probably another question, because there's ways to cheat it around. Like, obviously you could pull the dash out and grab that bulb, in the dash, and just take the bulb out. That's one way to do it. And then the other way would be to find the how the sensor operates. So it's like kind of like a switch on your lawnmower. If you have a safety seat, where you sit on a lawnmower, when it creates a circuit, and when you get off of that, it breaks the circuit. It separates. So that's how it keeps it running. It's a similar concept with the seat, to where it plugs in. It does it. I would think it does it the opposite, where it breaks the circuit to shut the light off. So you may be able to go into the wiring for the seat. I'm trying to think how you would want to do that, because sometimes it's either you connect the wire or disconnect the wire. But I probably don't have a great answer for you on that. But the answers coming in are electrical tape. Electrical tape will turn off any warning light. That is correct. And then let's see, Bad Harry, I would think there are two things that would give you lots of views. One is work on or do fastback conversions. Also very popular is a coyote swap. Yeah, I don't know that I want to get into the coyote swap. But fastback stuff, I would love to. So Vincenzo is saying a sensor. Yeah. And maybe you just put some tape over it. Honestly, it's probably your easiest fix, which is what Robert is saying as well. And Rick. That's your easiest fix. 2001 Suburban. Yeah. Yeah. So there's got to be, something that's causing obviously something's not working correctly, but I just, I don't have an easy answer for you. So hopefully maybe somebody else has another idea, but the simple fix, piece of black tape. Steve, Bad Harry, I'm doing a Cody swap right now, documenting the whole thing. It is tough. Yep. I do like your video starting that coyote up on the floor, though. I do like that video. That was fun. Jeff, super sticker. Awesome, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Nick, man, sometimes I feel like I'm the only guy in the universe that legitimately likes the Cougs better. I legit could care less about a fastback on the earlier cars. I guess I'm odd, except for 69 and 70. I've talked about this before, Nick. I switch back and forth. The more that I'm around the 68, the more I love it. This coupe, the more I love it. I'm telling you. I'm looking forward to getting it on the road and driving it. But yeah, I some days I really like the way fastback looks from certain angles, but most of the time I do like the coupe myself better. But of course, I have a soft spot for the 69 and 70 fastback, sports roof, Mach 1. So those are always on my list. All right, Leonard, you're checking out. Glad you were here. Cooter, have a good evening, everyone. Must go pick the youngest kiddo. Only 2 more years until she can drive herself, and Dad can maintain fuel and insure yet another car. Yeah. Yes. Make it rain. Yeah. Vincenzo, I understand. Thanks. Could be seatbelt buckle. Yeah, it's very likely that it's the buckle itself. There's got to be a wiring situation going on there. Jerry, the seatbelt issue is when you sit in the seat. Bad seat switch for wiring. So there's another option. I know some cars, depending, I can't say for sure on the 2001, but certain cars have a sensor built into the seat so that the airbag doesn't trip. Like if you don't have a passenger and you were to get involved in an accident, that seatbelt or that airbag would not deploy. But if you have somebody in that seat, it senses that they are there and then it activates the airbag. So there's got to be something in that relation that could be affecting it. Now, many times I've seen cars where you're just starting it lets that car know that, hey, somebody's obviously in the car because it's running. So there's got to be something going on. The seatbelt has to be connected in that instance. But I'm not 100% sure on the Suburban. Chris, 71, 72 fastbacks are ugly. Well, to each their own. There are people that love those cars too. Just like you love your, variety of Mercuries and Torinos and stuff. There are people that love the 71, 72 fastbacks. Jessica's saying Vince should be plug on the back of the receiver under the carpet, loop that connector. So that's maybe an option that could work. Dawn, could be the seat switch for an unoccupied seat is tripped. My school bag used to set it off. So that's another option too. You could have something, but I think he's talking about the driver's seat, I would assume. 71, 72s have grown on me, actually. Yeah. I mean, they have their following. Bad Harry, Footage Factory, I'm doing both a fastback conversion and a Coyote swap. Yeah. And it looks good. Rick, Barry, you really seem wanting to do the fastback conversion. I'm willing to donate my car to the cause. Heck, the job is half done. The rear is already gone. Yeah. The difficulty in that instance, I've seen, you send me pictures of your car. That would be if they, I've seen the damage. Let's put it that way. I haven't seen pictures of it cut up. So the difficulty on that is if they cut off the rear frame rails, that makes it more challenging, but you never know what's coming. I agree, Chris. I had a 72 notchback. Thought it looked way better than the 72 fastback. So there you go. Leonard. Nick, mine is a 71 to 73 coupe that he likes. Steve, I like the coupes better in the sense that I can beat it up without throwing money down the drain. It would be like playing in the NFL wearing a Rolex. Yeah. I mean, the value of the fastbacks is higher than the coupes, but really performance-wise, there's no difference. Just because the Bullitt Mustang had an 8-speed transmission and could jump over jumps and stuff, doesn't make it any better than a coupe. They all can be made to perform the same because it's really the same car, just sheet metal. Chris, I think the coupes look better on the Cougar. In my opinion, the fastback is a quintessential Mustang when people picture Mustang other than the convertibles. Well, yeah, I get that. Nandu, good night all. Have to get up early in the morning. Well, I'm glad you were here. Yes, Steve, Bad Harry doesn't have a channel per se that I know of. But he's asking Bad Harry, have you installed pedals yet? Pedals and master cylinder. So maybe a side conversation for you. Chris, 72 midsize fastbacks. The Torino and Montego look great. Mustang, well, like I said, everybody has their opinion on this stuff. Nick, I don't care what car I own. I'm driving the tar out of it. Then fix if I need to. Car abuse, sheltering it up. Now, like a super rare car, maybe go easy. Yeah. Drive it like you stole it, right? Rick, you can't donate your car. I'm already on the Joe Daddy waiting list. Yeah, he don't have his channel. Yep, sorry. Oh, rear rails are still there. Okay. Rick, Bullitt Mustang was hidden in New Jersey for years. Autobiography on Motor Trend did a show on it. Yep. Actually, I did an interview with the guy that owned it when I was at SEMA. That was fun. Got in there and talked to him. Um, that was interesting, and it was a fun conversation. There's a video of it on the channel. Um, lots of interesting stories and history behind that particular car. Jerry is checking out. Glad you're here, Jerry. Chris, 6 a.m. comes early here. I really need to finish up lunch and have a wonderful night. Glad you're here, Chris. See you, Jerry. Bad Harry. I drive the heck out of 66 Fastback, LOL. How do I have a moth in here? Why is it coming near me? 150 miles an hour in 9.2 seconds. Yeah, I'll watch. I'll watch from the stands. Yep. And 64 later people, happy restorations. Yeah, Mothra. The little tiny Mothra. Anyway, as we're moving closer towards, the 0 hour, whatever you want to, 2 hour time, I do have the video edited that, all right, Greg, we'll see you. Glad you're here. I do have the video edited for Patreon, and I'm working on the video for YouTube. As I said before, I'm going to be making 2 to put out, and maybe that'll help and encourage. Maybe it won't. I don't know, but I have to change up the formula because, again, YouTube doesn't care. And I think I actually thought about just making a YouTube video titled "YouTube Doesn't Care," so that people can see and get the idea of what's going on with the whole process. Anyway, this weekend is obviously, and I'm getting off tangent a little bit. Valentine's weekend. Hope everybody's planning on taking their significant others and having a good time. I know it's tough with the whole COVID thing and all that junk going on, but still have people in our lives that matter to us, so we need to take care of them. What else was there? Oh, I did get some parts in for my little Honda, the little Honda Fit that I'm driving now. And let me tell you, that little Honda Fit, it feels like I'm driving a go-kart. I don't know if you ever drove one of those. It's a Honda Fit sport model, and it's got the paddle shifters on the. And I don't use them, but it's got paddle shifters on the steering wheel and a little ground effects kit. But I'm thinking about doing the Plastidip paint on that thing. But I'll be doing a few videos on that coming up. There are some things that need to be fixed on it, and I plan on showing some of that because people need that information too. Nick, YouTube shows up to your door and kicks you in the shin. We care. Yeah, sure. Of course they do. It is what we're. How do they label it? We're here to help. We're from the government, right? We care. Robert, I get to be 1,000 miles from home, but I get to go to NPD. That's the thing. That's love. Because you're not going just for a trip to go to NPD. I know that much. But also, Robert is probably going to be stopping in here. So we might do some collaboration and try to get some things done here in the shop while Robert is visiting. So we'll see how that goes. Steve, I don't know. Complaining about YouTube is the same as women complaining about men. Women have a point, but we don't care. Yep. Steve, how could you say such a thing? That's from my wife in case she's watching. Yeah, YouTube doesn't care. Nick is saying you should video that Infernal. Yeah. Yep. Gordon, my daily driver, eats Honda Fits for breakfast. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure it does because that little I mean that thing, like I said, when I parked it next my wife has a Honda Odyssey and I parked next to it with that little Honda Fit and I realized the Honda Fit is just a minivan. It is a minivan. But it handles like a go-kart. I'm telling you, you want to make a turn, you're there. I mean, it's it's pretty impressive how fun it is to drive. Um, Rick is saying, Barry, you share, we care. Yeah, you do, and I appreciate everybody that watches my videos and gets something out of them. But YouTube, they don't care. They don't care. Nick, I agree, footage factor, but if you've ever dated a short woman, the shins take a beating. Yeah, Robert, weather permitting. Well, I hope the weather holds up for your trip. I really do. I think it's supposed to be okay. Jessica saying Craftsman sounds like an over the road truck driver. Yeah. And we'll ask if I can film an NPD. I feel weird filming in a store. Well, I think he's talking about filming the trip. You could do segments as you travel across the states and just film your trip. And then go into NPD. I did it. I took my little regular camera and I walked into Summit. I didn't ask. They didn't care. They didn't say a word. I just walked around and talked and filmed, and they didn't care. It's promotion for them. Nick, it gets stuck on top of speed bumps though. Yeah, that is one thing I have to be careful about. The ground clearance on that Honda Fit is about a quarter inch. That thing sits so low. But man, can it take a corner? I mean, I'm telling you. Steve, I have great response about short women and shin kicking, but moderators will boot me. Yeah. Rick, I only wish I had the ability to do what you do. Well, I understand, Rick. I understand. And, I'm thankful that I can do what I do. I really am. As I've said before, growing up, working, living at my dad's junkyard and driving beater cars and as much as it was not probably ideal for a teenager and whatever in my situation, but I was able to learn and through a lot of osmosis how things work and why they work and what you can do to improve things. And anyway, so but yeah, I understand. I appreciate the sentiment there, Rick. Microvan. That's a better term. In fact, I call the car scooter. That's what I call my little Honda Fit scooter. And if I do the plastic coat, I don't want it red because I just don't want it red. But if I do the plastic coat, I might do like gunmetal gray, something like that. And maybe people are interested in that kind of paint process. I don't know. I've never done it. I'm not afraid to try things, so maybe I'll do that. But I could, make it a little racier, right? A little racier looking car. Maybe put some stripes on it or something. My wife hates stripes. Robert, Jessica delivering daughter stuff since she moved permanently. Yeah. Rick, have you heard of Cressy's Junkyard in Hazleton, Pennsylvania? I have not. Nick, hey, if a kid is playing with an RC car, does it take your car over on accident? Pretty close. That thing is, but what's remarkable is it'll hold 4 people comfortably. You can fold down the back seat, and I know I can put a Honda Civic hood in there. I can get that in that car. And it's amazing how much space is actually in those cars. Steve, I'm out 2 a.m. Scotland time. Be back in the U.S. next week. I'll make a vid for you. I'll go pro the garage opening to knock dust off of coops for you, Barry. That sounds cool. That sounds cool, Steve. Have a good night. Glad you were here. And have a safe trip, my friend. Have a safe trip. Nick, by the way, I also drive a Mini Cooper, so I don't have any room to talk. No, Mini Coopers, I bet you, I've been in a Mini Cooper. It almost feels like there's more room in that Fit than in that Mini Cooper. Nick, same with the Cooper, much more room than you would think because of how far the wheels are to the outside. Yeah. Well, another thing too, the Honda Fit, they move, if I understand correctly, the gas tank is under like the front seats or something. It's not anywhere in the back. It's underneath or between or somehow the front seats, kind of like they did the Fiero. The Fiero had a fuel tank in between the seats, you know. So anyway, what are you saying, Nick? But apparently not to Barry. What? I'm missing out, Nick. What are you saying? Okay. But anyway, I think that the fuel tank is underneath the seats, and it only has that Honda Fit only has an 8-gallon fuel tank. 8 gallons. 8 gallons. I wish it had a 12-gallon tank. I'd be much happier with it. Welder, Nick, with a Cooper Mini, you don't have much room for anything at all. Leonard, when Honda came out, we called them putt-putt cars. Yep. You know, what are you saying? Nick says, because you said the Fit had more room as I put up that comment up. I think it does. I really think it does. In fact, the guy that I got the Fit from, he lives up the street. He was saying he put a mountain bike in the back seat because the back seats fold up. He could put a mountain bike in there somehow, like without taking anything apart. He could, I don't know. I didn't try it, but it has a lot of room in it. But yeah, you're right, Leonard. Putt-putt cars. Yeah. Robert, daughter's little Nissan Versa Note is surprisingly big inside and drives well other than the CVT that is failure prone. Small cars are fun, even without lots of power. Yeah, I mean, this car, I could almost venture that if I wanted to and I had enough reason to, I could probably roll it over by hand. And it's just a little lightweight nothing. Okay, Rick, I feel y'all's pain. My other car is a Ford Fiesta. Yeah. I actually like those little cars. I mean, like the Honda Fit. I don't know why. I've always had a fixation with like the micro cars, they had in the 50s and 60s. I've always had a fixation on those. Robert, the Toyota XP had a 10-gallon tank and no gas gauge, just a light when it got low on gas. Oh, that's nice. We're all compact car owners. Neat. Hey, that little Honda Fit's getting 29 miles to the gallon around town. Can't argue with that. And that's not babying it. I'm driving that thing. Dave, I have a 75 Honda Civic little hot rod. Cool little cars. Wow, that's hard to find those anymore. I mean, 75, but the earlier one, 68, 9, 70 little Honda Civic, those are really hard to find. Nick, I think the Fiesta seats would be neat to modify for an early Mustang. Could be. I'm debating on whether I want to keep the seats that I have for Jade or if I want to put in some sort of high back. So I am considering other options. Gordon, be thankful they don't make Yugos anymore. Yeah, we should all be thankful for that. Jessica, guess my 74 Chevelle is my compact. Yep. Yeah, I've had a variety of little cars over the years. One of my favorites, I had a 83 Dodge Colt. I forget who actually made it. Some foreign company made it, but it was a Dodge Colt. It had a high and low shifter in it, so you had your 4-speed little shifter, and then on the side of that you had a high-low range. And so I would freak people out because it was like having overdrive. You could, but you actually had 4 low gears or 4, whatever, and you could have high and low range, like a tractor would have. So I used to have people ride along with me, and I'd reach over there, driving it, and I would have it low range first gear, ram, then I'd pull it into high range for high range first gear, and then I'd hit back into low range second gear, low range second gear, high range. I would go through the gears, and they were looking at me like, "What are you doing?" I said, "This is how you get the performance out of this car." Yeah, Mitsubishi. That's right. Colt built a Mitsubishi. Mitsubishi built the Colt. Yeah, but it was fun. It was a fun little car to drive, and man, that thing could sit there and had that split shifter. Bet Harry. Let's see. Wait a minute, Dave. My Civic is a Canadian car with only 48,000 miles on it. That's unheard of. Do you just drive it to the end of the driveway and back? That's crazy. 75? That's like a new car. Bet Harry putting Subaru seats in his Mustang. Interesting. You might want to let me know what kind of Subaru seats you're using, or if you're going to do any modifications to make them fit the car better or whatever. Because I'm looking at options. Nick, are they the WRX seats, Harry? Those are nice seats. Okay, yeah, could be. Rick, at Carlo, I saw a Colt with a 440 in it. That would be amazing. Jessica sounds like a Tyco RC, high-low trans switch. Yeah, but it was actually had a lever in that little car, so high and low range. Welder, I still have the Mustang 2 we bought in 1978. Does that make me part of the compact car club? Yeah, I guess it could. Nick saying that makes you embarrassed, Welder. Just kidding. So Dave is saying it has only seen one winter. That is a rare car. A Civic with 48,000 miles on it. Yep. Okay, WRX seats. Yeah, I don't blame you at all for that. Robert sent a pickup of 72 Honda. Was at the swap meet a few years ago in 2020. Oh, wait a minute. Let me download that quick. And then I have John sent me some. Okay. We'll get these in real quick, John. I didn't see those pop up. So let me see if I can get Robert's swap meet Honda Civic to pop up. Yep. Those are actually really, really hard to find anymore. Really hard to find. And then we have some pics of a Crosley. Let me see if I can get these up. She sent me like 5 pics. One, two, there we go. 2 more to go. Whoops. It's getting late. Eyes are getting tired. And I got one more to pull for this Crosley. Super, and what is it called? A Super Sport. So this is, hold on a second. Let me pull that off. So John sent these. He says, on my 52 Crosley Super Sport, someone had rough cut a trunk into the rear to repair damage to the rear. Crosley SS never had a trunk. I filled it in with a nose, same type as the last picture of a 1946 Crosley Coupe. Today, t-shirt weather, 76 degrees. Nice. Okay, so there's a modification to this Crosley. Whoops. Let me get the next shot here. So use the nose of that car from what I'm gathering. Did some custom fabrication work. Yeah. That's cool. So I guess that's the trunk they cut into it. So you're building a custom trunk or a custom, I don't know if it's actually a trunk or you're welding it shut. Looks like you're welding it shut from what I'm seeing. Interesting. Thanks for sharing that. Okay. All right. It's getting time to go. I've got to get in the house. So let me see what else we have here. Yeah. Bob Knoll, have a good night. Nick saying that's pretty sweet. I worked at a Honda when the 600s came out. Yeah. When you'd like to put a couple of those away. Yeah, I swear I saw a channel rebooting one of those Civics before. I want to say SWRNC. Yeah, I saw some video of a guy who found the very first one, like serial number 0001. It was by chance he stumbled upon this thing and ended up restoring it. All right, Nick, glad you're here. Bad Harry, I'll have to take a look at those seats in a minute. Robert was up till 2 a.m. finishing up brisket, and it's pumpkin time. Pumpkin? Okay. Night, everyone. Yep. Okay. All right. I'm at a stop point. I'm starting to get that weird kind of feeling in my throat where things are getting strained, and I'm getting tired. So anyway, I want to thank everybody for being here. Again, there will be a video coming out probably on Friday, and that'll be doing epoxy on the fenders and different pieces and stuff like that. So give that a look whenever it comes out. And otherwise, stay safe, stay healthy, and until next time, take care of yourselves. See ya.